One of the biggest beauty brands just made a mistake so bad it might cost them everything. Lashify, known for its luxury DIY lash extensions, just picked a fight with the wrong person. Bethenny Frankel, after she posted a glowing review of a competing brand. Lashify's biggest mistake? How one beauty brand ruined its reputation overnight. Bethenny Frankel has never been one to hold back. From her time on The Real Housewives of New York to her multi-million-dollar Skinny Girl brand, she's built a career on being brutally honest. But in recent years, Bethenny has found a new audience. Millions of beauty lovers on TikTok who trust her no-nonsense product reviews. She's the kind of influencer who can make or break a brand. And recently, she unknowingly set off a firestorm with a single post. It all started when Bethenny reviewed a brand called Prash, a relatively unknown company selling DIY lash extensions. Unlike traditional falsies, these lashes don't require a full strip. They're applied in small clusters beneath the natural lash line for a seamless, natural look. Bethenny, who has always struggled with lash application, was amazed. She raved about how easy they were to use, calling them the first lashes she'd ever successfully applied on herself. She wasn't just impressed, she was shocked. The video quickly went viral, but the comments section took an unexpected turn. People started pointing out that Prash's system looked almost identical to Lashify, a luxury lash brand that pioneered this style of application. Some viewers even accused Prash of copying Lashify's patented technology. Bethenny, seemingly unaware of any brand drama, simply replied to a comment, asking if Prash's lashes were magnetic. That's when things spiraled out of control. Instead of seeing Bethenny's post as a potential marketing opportunity, Lashify saw it as a personal attack. The brand's founder wasted no time in reaching out to Bethenny, not with an offer to try their product, not with a polite explanation of the situation, but with legal threats. In what can only be described as a complete PR disaster, Lashify sent Bethenny a message warning her that she had involved herself in ongoing litigation by reviewing Prash's product. Bethenny was not amused. She wasn't being paid to promote Prash. She had no prior knowledge of the legal battle between the brands. She simply saw a product, liked it, and shared her thoughts with her audience. But now, she was being dragged into a corporate feud she had no stake in. And if Lashify thought she would back down quietly, they clearly had no idea who they were dealing with. Lashify's explosive reaction, the mistake. If there's one thing companies should know by now, it's that threatening an influencer with millions of followers is never a good idea. Bethenny Frankel, a woman known for being blunt, wasn't about to let a beauty brand intimidate her. Instead of backing down, she did what she does best. She took the drama public. In a follow-up video, Bethenny exposed Lashify's aggressive response, reading the legal threats out loud for her audience. She made it clear that she owed the brand nothing. She wasn't affiliated with them, had never tried their products, and had no obligation to promote or protect them. And yet, they had the audacity to come after her for simply reviewing a different brand's product? It was an overreaction of epic proportions. Bethenny didn't just push back, she obliterated Lashify's approach, calling their message insulting, ridiculous, and completely unprofessional. She pointed out that she had built her entire career on honest reviews, and no brand was going to bully her into silence. If Lashify wanted to win over customers, they should have handled the situation with professionalism. Instead, they had turned what could have been a minor misunderstanding into a full-scale PR nightmare. The internet loved Bethenny's response. Comments flooded in from people who had never even heard of Lashify before, but were now boycotting the brand on principle. Viewers praised Bethenny for standing her ground, with many saying they had been considering trying Lashify, but after seeing how they treated her, they were officially out. But this wasn't just about Bethenny. As more people heard about the controversy, another, even darker story started to resurface, one that proved this wasn't Lashify's first time making this exact same mistake. Lashify's history of drama, pattern of problems. If Lashify's aggressive response to Bethenny's review seemed familiar, that's because it was. This wasn't the first time the brand had overreacted to criticism, and unfortunately for them, the internet never forgets. Back in 2018, another major beauty influencer, Manny MUA, had a similar run-in with Lashify. At the time, Manny was one of the biggest names in the beauty space, and when he reviewed Lashify's product, he wasn't particularly impressed. He struggled with the application, found them difficult to use, and ultimately, he didn't recommend them. For most brands, this would have been the end of the story. Not everyone is going to love every product, and negative reviews are just part of the game. But Lashify didn't take it well. Instead of responding professionally or offering tips for application, the brand's founder personally messaged Manny using his private phone number from his order. And just like with Bethenny, instead of handling things with class, they sent him legal threats. Manny was shocked. He had simply bought a product with his own money, tested it out, and given his honest thoughts. He wasn't under contract, he wasn't being paid, and he had every right to share his opinion. But somehow, Lashify believed they had the power to silence influencers who didn't praise them. To make matters worse, Lashify's owner went on a live stream and made a wildly inappropriate comment about Manny, saying not everyone wants to look like a drag queen. The backlash was swift, and although the brand survived, it left a permanent stain on their reputation. Now with the Bethenny situation unfolding, people were starting to connect the dots. This wasn't just an isolated incident, this was a pattern of overreacting, of mishandling PR, and of damaging their own brand with their own words. The bigger issue: copycats and business reality. Lashify claims that Prash is stealing their patented Lash technology, and to be fair, they might have a point. In the beauty industry, copycats are a massive problem. Anytime a brand creates something innovative, cheaper versions flood the market almost instantly. Just look at the Beauty Blender. It was a revolutionary product, but now there are hundreds of knockoffs. The same goes for Dyson Airwrap dupes, Charlotte Tilbury's iconic Pillow Talk lipstick, and even Bethenny Frankel's own skinny girl, Margarita. Bethenny herself understands this reality. She built an empire off a single product, and she's watched countless brands copy her formula, branding, and concept. But did she go around threatening influencers who reviewed competing brands? No, because she understands that's just business. Instead of handling this situation with grace, Lashify shot themselves in the foot. Had they taken a different approach, perhaps by reaching out to Bethenny professionally, or even sending her their own product to try, this entire disaster could have been avoided. The fallout: losing customers and brand damage. Lashify's aggressive response to Bethenny Frankel's review wasn't just a minor misstep, it was a full-blown PR catastrophe. What started as a simple TikTok review quickly spiraled into a brand-destroying controversy, leaving Lashify scrambling to control the damage. The internet, however, was not feeling sympathetic. As Bethenny's video racked up millions of views, it became clear that Lashify had massively miscalculated. Instead of winning over customers, their actions had turned beauty lovers against them. Social media was flooded with comments from former and potential customers declaring they would never purchase from the brand again. "I was going to buy Lashify, but not anymore," became one of the most common sentiments under Bethenny's video. Others who had already purchased from the company said they were throwing their Lashify products in the trash, disgusted by the way the brand had treated someone who was just giving her honest opinion. The worst part? Lashify had no one to blame but themselves. Had they simply ignored Bethenny's review, it likely would have been forgotten in a few days. Even if they had politely reached out to explain their position, things might have played out differently. Instead, they chose to go on the attack, and that decision had lasting consequences. To make matters worse, the resurfaced Manny MUA drama only added fuel to the fire. Beauty fans who had forgotten about the 2018 controversy were suddenly reminded of how Lashify had handled criticism in the past. This wasn't a brand that made one small mistake. This was a pattern of bad PR, bad leadership, and bad business strategy. And then, just when things couldn't get any worse, Lashify tried to backtrack. Their founder issued an apology claiming she never meant to threaten Bethenny, and that she had great respect for her. But the damage was done. The beauty community had already made up its mind. The backlash became a case study in how not to handle an influencer controversy. Instead of gaining sympathy for their patent struggles, Lashify had managed to turn themselves into the villain of their own story. Their reputation was in shambles and their customers were walking away. The question now was simple: could Lashify recover, or had they destroyed their own brand forever? If there's one thing this situation proves, it's that in the age of social media, a brand's reputation is just as important as the product they sell. It doesn't matter if you have the best product on the market. If you can't handle criticism well, your business is in danger. Lashify's downfall wasn't caused by a competitor. It wasn't caused by Bethenny Frankel. It was caused by their own inability to accept that influencers and customers have the right to their own opinions. Instead of engaging in open dialogue, they resorted to threats. Instead of turning Bethenny into a potential brand advocate, they turned her into an enemy, and in doing so, they handed her the perfect opportunity to expose their flaws to millions of people. The biggest irony? Lashify could have easily avoided all of this if they had simply approached Bethenny professionally, perhaps by thanking her for reviewing their competitor and offering to send her their own product to compare. The entire situation could have turned into a positive marketing opportunity. Instead, they made one of the biggest PR mistakes imaginable. They let their emotions take control. This drama serves as a warning to all brands, especially those in the beauty industry, where public perception is everything. Social media has changed the way businesses interact with customers. Today, brands are expected to be transparent, respectful, and open to feedback. Companies that lash out at criticism don't just risk losing one sale, they risk losing an entire community of buyers. So now the question is, can Lashify recover from this disaster? Or have they permanently ruined their reputation? Some companies bounce back from controversies with smart rebranding and crisis management, but others? They never regain the trust they lost. What do you think? Was Bethenny in the right to call them out? Or did Lashify have a point about their patents? Let's talk about it in the comments.